It is reported that Chinese President Xi Jinping will be visiting Europe soon. What are your expectations out of his trip to Europe, and what do you think are Europe's expectations?
First of all, I think it's excellent that the President is going to Europe. We also just had the German Chancellor Scholz visiting here in China. I think it's very important that we keep up momentum with these high-level bilateral meetings. We had 7 commissioners from the EU Commission also coming to China over the past year. Von der Leyen came twice. Very, very good. I think one of the fundamental issues that we have now in the relationship is that we need to build trust, because trust is what will allow us to also have some of the difficult conversations that Europe and China needs to have. And I'm sure that some of those things that are a little bit problematic in the relations right now will also be discussed. And we of course hope that this opportunity to re-engage at the highest level will provide some pathway to address these.
On the overall China-EU relationship, there's we can get around the fact that the United States plays a critical role in this bilateral relationship. Its policies, its attitudes towards China can, on some respect, affects Europe, and actually vice versa. So, what do you think it's anchoring the China-EU relationship? What makes it work, despite the influence of the United States?
So I think one good place to start is that increasingly to begin to think of Europe as an autonomous actor, able of making its own decisions. If you are approaching your relationship with Europe through sort of a US filter, I think this is something that is, will lead to missed opportunities and obscure discussions that could be taken on different terms. I think we need in some ways also to see the EU-China relationship as an EU-China relationship, and make sure that even though, of course, that relationship is influenced what happens in the China-US space, but also, insist that there are things that are unique to the EU-China relationship, and maybe try to focus on them also.
Let's talk about the economic side. So, China proposed this new quality productive force last year, and it has become quite a central theme in China's development. Where do you see Europe fit into that?
I think it's a very obvious path for China to take, that you of course want to move into higher value added, more sophisticated manufacturing, also in order to sort of boost productivity and sort of in line with overall Chinese development aspirations.
Do you see Europe benefiting from that?
I think Europe very much being a part of it. I think that the European industry in many areas are exactly in that space, qualitative, productive forces. There ought to be many opportunities for Europe and China to work on some of these industries and make progress together.
Since you work with a lot of the European companies, big companies, corporations, what do you hear from them about the Chinese market? Do they still have the confidence?
European companies, our members, our 1,800 companies that are members of the EU Chamber, we remain deeply committed to China. No one is running for the exit here. You see a lot of the very large companies for whom China is an existential market continue to investing here, some even doubling down on investment in China, in addition to what you already have in China. Where I think we are a little bit concerned is in regards to the small and medium-sized enterprises. And when you consider that the small and medium-sized enterprises really are the backbone of the European economy, I think there needs to be a focus on, how can you continue to work with the SMEs so they have an interest in coming into China. And that'll be a mix of things. But I think in that respect, sort of supply chain resilience and geopolitics and sort of predictability as to how the business environment will develop will be important for these companies.